rise to offer Green support for all of these amendments. Some of my questions have actually just been answered by the Noble Lord Cope of Craighead, and I think his suggestion that they be combined is actually a very positive one, because I think retaining the element of a vehicle involving a vehicle, of an offence involving a vehicle, maintaining the opportunity to have that vehicle taken away, that right, is I think a very useful one. I'm aware of the time and the pressure from to make progress, but I think it's a great pity, really, that it's so late at night and such an important group of amendments, all put forward by the Noble and Learned Lord Faulkner of Thoroton, are all being discussed in this rather rushed way. I just want to draw a couple of comparisons and links between them. And I think one of the things to highlight is how much these are coming from community campaigning, from the grassroots up. And I'll note that the campaign for the harassment offence draws in large part, I would imagine, on the group called Our Streets Now, set up by sisters aged 16 and 22, Gemma and Maya Tutton, who are working with the charity Plan International UK, and the hashtag is Crime Not Compliment. And I suspect the Noble Lord may have drawn on their ready-made bill. And I note that this has had strong cross-party support in the other place. And I think I would draw on the words of the women's rights campaigner Nimco Ali, who said that the fact that street sexual harassment was still legal is bizarre. Littering is banned, smoking is banned, but this kind of behaviour is not. Just very briefly on 285, again, I'd highlight the fact that Generation Rent, another grassroots campaign group, has been very much pushing for action here, and that a report by Shelter in January found that around 30,000 women had been offered housing in exchange for sex between March and September 2020. This is a function of the extreme dysfunction of our current housing system. And I do have to address 292M personally, because, as I suspect is the case for very many people, and particularly many women, it's something that I have personally experienced. I was 11 years old in another country, and I was out in the centre of the city of Sydney on my own as an 11-year-old, and I was subjected to this offence. Now, I was taught, as lots of young girls were then and probably still are taught, to laugh and turn round and walk away. But the fact that I can still remember very vividly the picture of that street scene shows that it did have an impact on me. And if I look back now, I think I felt as an 11-year-old that this was a threat to my right to be on the streets. And I didn't tell my mother because I was worried she would think that then I shouldn't be allowed out on my own to exercise the freedom that I wanted to and did continue to exercise. So I think it is really crucial that we do see a change in attitude here, and I think a review is a very good way to address that. And I think the Noble and Learned Lord has really covered 292T very well, but I think we do have to note the fact that femicide census campaigning on this issue and broader issues show that it reports there is no sign in reduction in the rate of femicide. And that was a 10-year span from 2009 to 2018. We're really not making progress. We need to make progress. This really important group of amendments, I really hope the government will go away and look at very seriously and come back to us with proposals covering, I like to be an optimist, covering all of them.